The small boat bobbed on the water, inching its way out to sea. Seagulls circled the side of the boat as if beckoning, and the red sun rose slowly over the horizon, dyeing the sea a golden yellow. The fishermen laughed, checked their equipment, prepared their fishing nets, and looked far away into the water where they believed there would be fish. The nets were lowered with great care and skill. They were bottom trawls, heavy and sturdy, designed to sweep the bottom where many species of fish live. Buoys were dropped along the edges of the nets, helping the nets stretch out as they were pulled. The machinery began to operate. The rumbling sound mixed with the sound of the waves, the strong wind blowing past their ears, creating a symphony of the ocean. The waiting time was for the fishermen to drink a cup of tea, eat a piece of bread, and tell each other old stories. There were stories about a day when they caught hundreds of tons of fish. Stories about a huge storm that almost sank the boat. Stories about a strange fish they had never seen before. They passed on their experiences, shared their worries, and told each other to stay strong. When the time came, the shout rang out, "Pull the net!" Everyone got into position, hands holding the rope, eyes glued to the water. The heavy net began to be pulled up little by little. The first fish appeared: mackerel, silver pomfret, mackerel, hairtail. Sparkling silver in the sunlight. The more they pulled, the more fish there were, and the net began to get heavy. The strong smell of fresh fish mixed with the sea salt, making the atmosphere even more fierce. On the deck, fishermen used nets, hooks, and even their bare hands to put the fish into ice-filled holes. They had to work quickly before the sun rose high enough to spoil the fish. Some people rearranged the nets. Others used high-pressure water hoses to wash the deck of the slippery fish scales. No one wiped the sweat from their foreheads, because the work swept him away like endless waves. And so, every day was a new battle with the ocean. Sometimes things were going well. The hold was full of fish. Laughter was loud. Sometimes the sea was rough. The waves were big. The boat was rocking. There were few fish, and people's hearts were heavy. But they never gave up. Every time they returned to shore. They repaired the boat, patched the net, and prepared for the next trip, as if nothing could stop them from the sea. The journey of fishermen is not only about fishing. They also face invisible dangers, such as sudden storms, inattentive large ships crashing into them, or increasingly depleted seafood. But it is these challenges that train them to be resilient. Sunburned hands, sunburned skin, and eyes that always look far away are the marks of sea warriors. Sometimes, they catch strange fish, a giant swordfish, a shark that suddenly enters the net, or a net full of silvery anchovies. Each time, they cheer, record it on their phones, and send it back to their wives and children on the mainland. as a gift from the ocean. The meals on the boat are simple but warm. Just a pot of rice, a pot of fresh fish soup, a little pickled vegetables, but it is the crystallization of sweat and effort. They sit close together. Using chopsticks to pick up fish quickly, laughing and talking about the upcoming catch. The atmosphere is simple but full of humanity, something that only those who share the waves and the wind can understand. When the afternoon comes, if they have caught enough, they return. The boat turns its bow towards the mainland. In the distance are the silhouettes of mountains and roofs hidden in the mist. Each time they return, they bring with them joy and fatigue. But seeing the mainland warms their hearts. The fish are brought ashore, loaded onto trucks, and transported to fish markets or processing plants. The fresh fish become meals for millions of people. Behind each piece of fish is a long story of the sea, of sweat and sacrifice. No fisherman is famous, no one has their name in the newspaper, but their work is the lifeblood of many industries. And so, day after day, year after year, the boys grow up with fishing boats and then become fishermen, continuing the tradition of their ancestors. They learn to read the flow of fish through the color of the water, feel the wind on their skin, and live in harmony with nature. The sea may be fierce, but the hearts of fishermen are always steadfast. For them, the sea is home, a place to make a living, a place where they leave behind many memories, many dreams. On each wave is the call of life, a call that they never refuse. Although technology has developed, boats are more modern, and nets are more sophisticated, their love for the sea remains the same, simple, sincere, and enduring. They are the silent heroes of the ocean, those who bring fish from the sea to the mainland with their own hands and hearts full of love for their profession when night falls. The ships are still far out at sea, like sparkling dots of light in the vast darkness. The yellow lights from the ship's hold reflect on the water, creating a magical scene in the middle of the night sea. In the hold, some people are taking turns resting. Some continue to check the nets, pump water, monitor the wind and waves, and radar signals. The night at sea has a characteristic stillness, but it also hides many dangers. Sometimes a hidden wave hits. Sometimes it collides with a large ship without lights. Sometimes it is an engine problem. But the fishermen are used to it all. They learn to listen to every strange sound. Feel every small change of the ship, and always stay calm in every situation. In their free time, they look up at the starry sky, telling each other their dreams. Some dream of one day buying a bigger ship. Some want to send money to their children for college. Some just want to rest for a day, not having to go to sea anymore. Although each has their own aspirations, what they have in common is that they all carry in their hearts an undying love for the sea. And dawn comes again, bringing with it mist and hope. They start a new day, repeating the tireless cycle. Each trip is a story. Each time they cast their nets is a bet with nature. But for them, there is nothing happier than seeing the ship's hold full of fish, the bright smiles on their teammates' faces, and a peaceful return day after day. The fishing boats continue their journey on the deep blue ocean. Sometimes, they fish close to shore, where there are many coral reefs and small creatures. And sometimes they have to go to far-flung fishing grounds, traveling hundreds of nautical miles just to find a large school of fish. They use all kinds of support tools, from satellite positioning to fish-finding sonar, but nothing can replace intuition and traditional experience. The larger, more modern boats, dozens of meters long, are equipped with quick freezing systems, deep cold storage, and automatic net pulling machines. On them, the fishermen work non-stop, day and night. They divide their shifts reasonably so that no one is exhausted, taking turns cooking, cleaning, checking fuel, and making minor repairs. Each person has a position. No one is idle, but no one complains. For them, the sea is not only a place to make a living, but also a place to teach them what patience, perseverance, and hope are, even though they know that one day the sea will dry up and fish will not be as abundant as before. They still live and keep their profession, because it is their identity, their lifeblood. They teach their children not to fear storms, not to be afraid of hardship, but to love the sea as they love their family. As the sun rose high overhead, dyeing the coastal sky a golden yellow, the giant fishing boat began to slowly move into the shallow waters near the shore. The engine roared steadily, leaving white streaks of water behind. On the deck, the fishermen had taken off their raincoats, wiped the sweat from their foreheads, and prepared themselves for an equally important step, bringing the fish to the mainland and transferring them to the distribution teams. From afar, the fishing port appeared like a vivid picture. Refrigerated trucks were lined up waiting, and the fish lifting machines were working tirelessly. The ship's whistle sounded 3 long blasts. Signaling a fruitful return trip. The port workers immediately rushed over, preparing the crane system and the pipeline to bring hundreds of tons of fish from the cold storage to shore. Inside the boat, the fishing team began to operate according to the procedure. The cold storage tanks were opened, and large blocks of fish were gradually transferred by crane, box by box. The fish baskets are equipped with coded chips, identifying each type of fish. The fishing area and the time of exploitation, all serving the traceability chain. Ensuring quality and transparency for the consumer market, the fish are hoisted up and neatly placed on specialized conveyor belts. Each type of fish, long-bodied ocean tuna, White fat cod, silvery herring or flat-shaped flounder, is quickly sorted by eye and a skillful combination of humans and machines. Optical scanners run along the conveyor belt, automatically determining size weight and meat quality to classify them according to commercial value. In the adjacent area, strong men are busily loading boxes of packaged fish onto refrigerated trucks. Some trucks will take them to processing plants, where the fish will be cleaned, skinned, filleted and packaged. Others will go straight to distribution centers, supermarkets or exported abroad. The atmosphere at the port was bustling and bustling. The sound of machinery mixed with the workers' calls, the ship's whistle, the sound of wheels grinding on the concrete road, creating a vibrant symphony of modern fishing. Seagulls also gathered here, perched on tall lampposts, looking at the fish crates that had just been unloaded. They seemed to be happy for a full day. In another corner, traders stood waiting, attentively watching each tray of fish being lowered. The buying and selling agreements were made quickly. Some bargained, some took. Notes. Some signed. Everything happened rhythmically as if it had been practiced hundreds of times after all the fish had been taken away. The fishermen had time to sit down and rest. Some lit a fire to boil water, made hot tea, then sat together on the deck, telling each other stories about what had happened during the recent sea trip. Some laughed loudly as they recounted the moment they caught a shark that had unexpectedly gotten caught in their nets. Some just silently looked out to sea, their eyes filled with longing for their families after long days of drifting on the waves. On land, the fishermen's children ran to the port to welcome their fathers. They ran and shouted their father's name, while their wives stood waiting at the head of the dock, holding sun hats to cover half of their sunburned faces. The emotional reunion made all their fatigue disappear. They hugged each other, sharing the joy of a successful sea trip.